licenses by the end of the year. So that's a headline for a lot of people. You know, everyone kind of wrings their hands. They worry that, look, we're Sullivan County. We've seen bad things happen, right? We get to the altar and the bride never shows up, right? So, but this time, you know, the marriage is absolutely going to happen. But let me just take a step back and say, so for years, it's been 2 decades or more, there's always been the idea that there would be an off-reservation Indian casino coming. My company, which is Empire Resorts, and I'll talk a little bit about my company and our partners in a second, and we'll show a couple of slides. Empire Resorts was a part of all that, right? We always felt that we could work and get an off-reservation Indian casino. At the time, we were going to put it at the site of our existing business, the Monticello Casino and Raceway. That never happened. I think we all know that, right? There was always something that needed to happen down in Washington, D.C. The Secretary of the Interior had to sign a letter taking land in trust. There was some bill that needed to happen. There was some administration policy that needed to change to permit an Indian tribe to come to Sullivan County and operate a casino. Back then, the only way you can operate a casino was on tribal lands. But what happened since then, and then, you know, in this administration, and, you know, I don't know what your party affiliations are, but what this governor and what the legislators up in Albany decided to do is to say, let's forget about this Indian gaming off-reservation stuff, and let's have a competition for casino licenses, right? So the Senate, Senator Bonasek, Assemblywoman Aileen Gunther were very instrumental in helping guide this whole process. And the state said, okay, what we're going to do is amend our Constitution. We're going to permit casino licenses. We're going to start by allowing up to 4 casino licenses in upstate New York. And they broke it up into 4 licenses into 3 regions. One region is euphemistically called the Southern Tier. Don't ask me to explain it to you. It goes all the way like from the Pennsylvania border all the way up to Canada almost. It's kind of a weird looking jurisdiction for a casino license. The second was our region here in the Catskills. They called this the Mid-Hudson Catskill region. And the third was roughly the Albany capital region, which is, so then we were off to the races. It was a casino competition. So in our region, some of the biggest casino companies in the world showed up. You know, the names that you know, Caesars, you know, Penn National, Fortish, which is a name you may not know, but they run a bunch of very successful casinos down in Maryland, and a group that has, you know, that's less well known. You know, they were up in Orange County. This company called Green Track. So there was a lot, and actually a company called Genting, and I'm going to explain a little bit to you about Genting. Genting is a very large company based in Malaysia that owns and operates casinos all over the world. But what we decided to do, and what we had the advantage of was that we were actually working for almost 3.5 years. At the time, we thought we would relocate our existing racetrack to the site of the former Cockport. Okay, we were going to, you know, take our VGM machines, bring it there, bring the racing there. So we had started all the planning, all the work, all of the design work, right? What we call the master plan, which is what you see here up on the screen. We had started this, you know, years ago. So we were advantaged while the other guys were literally showing up with blank pieces of paper, running around saying, we're going to get our permits and we're going to, you know, we're going to get our water done and our sewer done. We had everything, I'd say probably almost done by the time the state decided to do this. So we converted our plans from just taking the existing racetrack and moving it over. So what we're going to do is leave the existing racetrack now where it is, and we're going to create this. So let me just kind of unpack this for you too. I'm a casino guy, right? I'm going to talk to you about casinos. I love to talk about casinos. But this project is so much more than just a giant neon sign hanging on a casino. So if you look at it, it's a little hard to see, but you see these little concentric circles here. This is us here at the casino, and I'll talk about the casino a little bit later. But in addition to the casino, there's something that we're building here which is called an entertainment village, which is going to be you know, movies, entertainment, bowling, restaurants, a little bit of shopping, because we're not going to compete with Woodbury Commons. I know everyone's disappointed. Everybody wants to see Woodbury Commons up here. We're not going to do that. But this is going to be a really interesting kind of family-oriented attraction. The other thing that we have here, which is already existing on the property, is the world-famous Monster golf course. Okay, I don't know if any golfers in the room. So you guys play the. If you play the Monster, you got to show up with a cannon. It's one of the longest courses you could ever play. Very, very difficult course. The problem with the golf course, it had 20 years of deferred maintenance in it. So when we looked at it, we said we got to kind of make this golf, we got to improve it, right? We got to fix the drainage. And we hired Reese Jones. So Reese Jones is a world-famous golf architect. They call him the U.S. Open Doctor. He's designed and renovated more U.S. Open courses than any other golf course designer. So Reese took this, and he's going to make it more playable. So if you're a bad golfer like me, it takes me 7 hours to play. If you're a great golfer like Mr. Ernst over there, who's a scratch golfer, he can play it in 2.5 hours. But Reese is going to make it more playable and have so people can have all kinds of experiences on this golf course. And then this is, the guys on my team think that I'm going to defect from the casino business and go into the water park business. Because I absolutely love this business. So the water park, if anyone's familiar, the kind of brand that everybody knows is Great Wolf. So it's an indoor water park. This is going to be a 300-room hotel with an indoor water park that's going to have what's called the Texlon roof. If you put a regular glass roof on a building, it filters out the UV rays. So if it's February and it's 13 degrees and you walk into the floor of the indoor water park, you're going to need sunscreen. If you got transition lenses on, your lenses are going to go dark. So this is a phenomenal opportunity to create another reason to come up here to Sullivan County. So everything you see here, I call these pistons in an engine. The 1.5 million square foot casino. Still going to talk to you more about that, but you can't get away from me without me talking about casinos. The entertainment village, the golf course, the water park, all this creates 4 million new visitations to Sullivan County. Sullivan County today has 4 million people visiting it on an annual basis. When we open, we double that. So just think about that. We're actually going to double the amount of visitations coming to this area. So now, let me just talk a little bit. It's there's a tremendous amount of brand confusion, and we did this for ourselves. So the casino is called the Montreign Resort Casino. Originally, our partners, EPR Properties, were going to develop the water park, the golf course, and the entertainment village. They are no longer doing it. My company, Empire Resorts, is doing the casino, the entertainment village, and now the golf course. We've taken control of the development of all those 3 circles right there. Our partners, EPR Properties, they're a large, multi-billion-dollar REIT out of Kansas City. They're basically, a REIT means a real estate investment trust. They're technically our landlords. They own this 1,700-acre site, which is the site of the former Concord Hotel. So everything you see here is interesting, but everybody wants to talk about casinos, right? So now I'm going to get to talk to you a little bit about casinos. So I mentioned our buildings are going to be 1.5 million square feet. And I'll take a step back to it. I'll tell you the vision that our casino's about, that we're operating under, is really, people ask me, Charlie, we're Empire Resorts. We're a publicly traded, NASDAQ-listed company. We currently operate only one property, the existing Monticello Casino and Raceway. It's a great place. I encourage everybody to go there, but it's certainly nothing that you see out in Las Vegas. So everybody asks me, Charlie, how did you win it all? How did you beat Caesars and Penn National and Cordish and all the other companies that wanted to come and build these monstrous casinos in Orange County? And the reason why we won is because of this, because we built the better mousetrap. We built something that's not just the big casino where people are going to come, you know, drive by 5,000 slot machines to get to our slot machines, right? There had to be more to it. So the synergies of all these things is the reason why we won the competition for in the RFA process. But the other thing about our company that a lot of people don't know is that there's a gaming giant involved in our company. Somebody you've never heard of. His name is Mr. K.T. Lim. Mr. Lim is the chairman of a company called Genting, which you may have heard of. Genting owns and operates right now the Resorts World New York, which is at the site of the Aqueduct Racetrack in Queens. But he's the biggest name in gaming you've never heard of. He's no different. Everybody knows Steve Wynn. Raise your hand if you know Steve Wynn. Mr. Lim is no different than Steve Wynn or Sheldon Adelson at Caesars, or Gary Loveman at Caesars, or Sheldon Adelson at Sands. No different than that. His company, Genting, owns and operates casinos. Almost every casino in the UK is Genting. They have projects they have building operations in Malaysia, in Sentosa Island, which is actually a $4 billion Universal Studios and casinos right in Sentosa Island, which is an island right off of Singapore. They are coming out of the ground in Las Vegas at the side of the old Echelon with a $3 billion project right there. They'll be the first to develop if anything ever changes in Miami. They have probably the best property in Miami for a casino right now. So inside of our company is this gaming visionary giant, and I say he's inside our company because he owns 70% of our company, Empire Resorts. So I'm fortunate enough, probably once a quarter, to meet with Mr. Lim and his team, and they come in with us, and you know, they own half the Norwegian Cruise Lines, and you know, but he comes in and he's very interested in everything that's happening. And he looks at us and he says, you know what, let's make it better, right? So we bid this, and we won. And after the RFA process, Mr. Lim said, let's make it better. And why did we want to make it better? Because why spend more money when you've already won, right? He said, look, let's make it bigger and better, and let's make it a 5-diamond casino resort. Think about that. 5 diamonds is like, you know, 4 Seasons and above, Ritz-Carlton and above. That level of quality, that level of service, let's make our 1.5 million square foot casino a 5-diamond resort. Why does he want to do that? Because unlike me and most Americans, you know, we think like, you know, what our business looks like in the next 3 months or next quarter. Mr. Lim and his team think about what do things look like in 10 years. So he wants to create something that's not going to be impacted by any future potential competition. Come to the Northeast and own the market, right? And that's what we're going to do. So here's the fun part, right? We'll talk about the casino. The casino is going to be 5 diamonds. You know, we're going to have over 100 table games. We're going to have over 2,000 slot machines. We're going to have great dining options. If anyone's a Food Network fan, celebrity chef Scott Conant, who's on Chop, he's one of the judges on Chop. Scott Conant, I get to meet with Scott Conant. You know, he makes me lunch. You know, this guy is just like phenomenal. And he's going to come up and do an Italian steakhouse with us. But we're going to have things. So you know, I don't want to give you the impression that this is going to be all high end, right? But we are going for a very high end clientele. We think the gaming market in the high end range is, believe it or not, underserved. Okay, especially a lot of people in the Asian community and a lot of people who have high dollars, you know, pride their own businesses where they want to come up and have entertainment. They want to do it on an exclusive basis. So we're going to have private gaming salons. We're going to have villas, like duplex villas, up and down. They'll have their own little like swim pool on it. We're going to have a penthouse level, which is going to cater to a very high-end clientele. Look, are we going to get people coming off buses in flip-flops and shorts? Absolutely, yes. It's not going to be just the James Bond crowd, people in tuxedos, you know, playing baccarat. We're going to get those people for sure. But we're also going to, we're making our business very unique because we're going to we're going to go out and chase that high-end business. And look, people think I'm nuts, but we're actually going to get, and once again, this will be done through our relationships with Mr. Lim and all of his companies around the world. We're going to be looking for people to come here on an international basis, right? Not only in the region, just driving in, spending a couple of days and leaving, but we're going to try to find. I was at Stewart Airport last week talking to people at the port and the Airport Commission about how can we, synergize our business, because we're going to be flying a lot of people in commercially to Stewart, and we're going to be flying a lot of high-end people in privately to our Sullivan County Airport. So, in addition to that, the casino's going to have 27,000 square feet. I was just talking to the folks here at my table who are in the entertainment business. We're going to have 27,000 square feet of something we call the M Center, which is going to have acts in it. We can do everything, movable walls, movable stages, all that fun stuff. We can do any kind of act that we can do. I will tell you, as an aside, as a company, what we decided to do is, and I tell our guys this all the time, we look at everything through the prism of first do no harm, right? So we didn't want to come in and start doing exactly what Bethel Woods did. So we have an agreement with Bethel Woods to work with them on a cooperative basis to make sure that we're not like booking the same acts or competing with them or doing anything that could, harm that, the great business that's Bethel Woods. So, just once again, I mentioned it before about the brand confusion. So it's Montreigne, right? And there's something called Adelar. So our partners, when EPR was doing the Golf Course Water Park and Entertainment Village, they picked the name Adelar, which is the Dutch word for eagle. So we got a lot of clashing brands here. I think we're going to sort it out, because now that we're doing most of the development, we may kind of rethink all that. And but and over here you see kind of, let's just flip to the next slide, is all the different activities, and I'll get into that too. So just to give you an idea, so probably everybody here's from Sullivan County, this is exit 106. So this is, you're coming up from Westchester of the city, you get off right here at exit 106, and you drive through. Great story here. We were originally just going to come right up Joyland Road. We were going to pave it and make it look nice, and there's a bunch of old dilapidated bungalow colonies here, and so I went to 1 meeting, 2 meetings, 3 meetings with the owner, and it was like, what do you want? And so finally the number was so obscene, it actually equated to $1 million a child.
Okay.
This guy had more than one child. So at that point, I said, I asked you a question. He said, sure. I said, is your wife pregnant? I said, why are you asking me that? I said, I don't know. I want to know if it's going to be another $1 million. So if you see me afterward, I'll tell you what the numbers are. You'd fake. So what we decided to do, we had a very smart kid who's an engineer who happened to be a fisherman, who there's like a little bit of a lake or a pond back here. And he had walked through it in his waders, and he said, you know what, guys, I'll not forget today, because I was there. He took a blue point pen out. We were just saying, all right, how much are we going to have to pay this guy for this, to get rid of this? Because look, in our business, you can't have somebody come up to a great 5-diamond resort and drive by a dilapidated bungalow. It's not going to work. It doesn't work, right? So thank God we had this very smart kid who was probably like 27 years old. And he drew a pen, with his ballpoint pen. He said, we're going to come right through the backwoods here. Wow. At a fraction of the cost of what we had to do to so we're going to build a giant retaining wall right here. Nobody's going to see the dilapidated bungalow colony. Adios, baby. So we're going to come right off here. And look, in our business, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So you cannot have somebody. And I just tell all my friends here in Sullivan County too, as you think about life and your businesses and your colleagues and the things that you're doing here, everybody's going to have to step up their game. Everybody. Whether you're pumping gas at a gas station and somebody's driving up from northern New Jersey or Pennsylvania or Westchester, and have a nice day. How are you doing? What's the weather? We got to get better at all that. We really do. We cannot be the grumpy, inhospitable Sullivan County that we've been kind of taught to be, because we've been beaten down for so long, right? So our customers are going to come up our resort entry road and go right into our facility here. And so just roughly speaking, you saw on the other map, so the entertainment village, the golf course are kind of like close to each other. Golf course is a little bit over there. But the water park is kind of over there. We're going to have an internal transportation system with shuttle buses getting people to the water park. The entertainment village is literally going to be connected to our casino, separate building but connected. And then, we'll get people to the golf course either by walking or through the internal transportation system. Let's go to the next slide. So these are all the benefits of what we call the integrated destination resort model. We had to think about this business not in terms of just what it's like on a 70-degree day in the summer, but what's it like when it's 5 degrees in February, right? So we have all these great synergies, right? The convention space that the water park's going to have, the convention space that we're going to have, that's going to drive weekday traffic. Kind of like the old businesses that we used to get up here, the police chiefs, the fire chiefs, the teachers associations. That's the kind of convention business we're going to be going to kind of activate the property, during the weekdays when the weather may not be as nice. This is all the, these are all the diverse entertainment opportunities, all of the partnering and the marketing investment, our, the positive brand affiliations, and then obviously amenities like the golf course, all works, synergistically. We're going to be the closest table game resort, table game facility in New York City. So we think that's there's obviously casinos, there's Yonkers, there's Resorts World of Queens, but they just have machines and electronic table gaming. Live table gaming, if you're going to be in this region, you're going to come play with us. Let's go to the next slide. A little bit of some of the people we're working with. This is Celebrity Chef Scott Conant. I mentioned Reese Jones, who's doing the BDG. These are guys that I actually brought into. They're from Long Island. I'm from Long Island. They're in Syosset. They're going to be developing the entertainment village for us. We're not retail developers. We're casino guys. So we brought in this group from Long Island who's going to be doing the entertainment village development. These are our partners, EPR Properties. Great guys. A lot of you folks may have met Tim Lees, who runs the project for EPR Property. It's a multi-billion-dollar REIT, right? They got billions of dollars sitting on their balance sheet. They got, and they're heavily invested in Sullivan County. This is the group that's actually running the water park. Now, this is not something my company's done, but this is the business that I want to be in. They were telling me. Families will drive up to 6 hours to get to a water. In our business, people basically drive 3 hours to get to a casino, no more. I guess when you're going stir crazy and you got to do something with the kids, they'll get in the car and drive up to 6. Think about that, up to 6 hours to get to. The guys doing this are also the owners of Camelback out in Pennsylvania. They've done a phenomenal job. They just opened a new indoor water park there called Aquatopia, which is absolutely astonishing. And down here, you see, I mentioned Bethel Woods before. My company, Empire, has a marketing relationship with the Monticello Rotary Club. This is another fantastic amenity. We're going to be sending our premium players to the Motor Club to get a high-end premium, race car experience. Let's look again. So these are the things that, once again, not just a casino, right? So there's going to be biking, hiking. The water park's going to have something called a mountain coaster. It's not like a roller coaster or anything. It's literally a sled that sits on top of the old Concord ski hill, and it's going to wind down through the forest. It's all gravity fed. It's not like a crazy roller coaster. And you control it with a handle. It's going to be a fun thing to have. There's going to be hiking, biking, sports activities, rock climbing. All that kind of fun. The things that advantage us is the beauty and the nature of this property. So we're going to be the atypical casino model. Do we want people to come in and play our slot machines? Sure. But do we want people to come up here, the 4 million new visitations that I mentioned before, and do something different every time they come up here? Yeah, that's great news for us. There's going to be people who come up here who never step foot in my casino. There'll be people who go put their kids in. I was talking to a woman in Newburgh recently, this is an idiot I am. And I said, she was telling me she had gone to Camelback, which she's got a blended family, her and her husband. They got 6 boys. They're all like under the age of 14. And she told me, I said, well, you know, she said, I don't want to drive to Pennsylvania anymore for the water park with the kids. I'm going to come to you. I'm just going to be 45 minutes away. So that's great. Let me ask you a question. I said, when your kids are going to bed, I said, is your husband going to sneak over and play a couple of hands of blackjack with her? She said, I don't know if he is, but I'm definitely going to come over. So these are all the things, right? These are all the things that, you know, the sports and leisure, the food and beverage, the entertainment, the hospitality, the gaming, and kind of taking advantage of all the things that exist here. You know, fly fishing, right? Or, right? Fly fishing. It's people, you know, when we did all of our market studies and we started talking to focus groups about the fact that we're going to have golf and fly fishing, you know, the needle went off the chart with these people, you know, in terms of, yeah, I'll come there. I can fly fish too. So we're really advantaged by all the great natural amenities that, you know, the area has to offer. So that's the last slide. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys, I get this question all the time. Charlie, nothing's happening. The state's not issuing a gaming license, and there's weeds growing over there, and you know, you guys aren't going to do anything. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to do anything. But what I'm going to show you, it's with a miracle of technology, if we can get the video up, is basically what's been happening on the property so far. We've spent probably well over $50 million already doing all of the horizontal infrastructure. This is the site of the casino. This is going to be in the 1600. This is our resort entry road. Actually, we're flying towards 17 on this right now. See all the work. This is going to be this is a dual lane road that we just built. This is the road that I mentioned that goes around the bungalow complex. So you're going to get a good look at this, right? By the way, as we're talking, so kind of buried the headline too. When we open the door and all those things open up, 2,400 new jobs. Think about it, 2,400 new jobs. 1,500